the rate he's going, they may ride that, change that game plan a little bit.
This is the first appearance in the WBC for Santiago Flores. Only 22 years old. Out of Barranquilla, Colombia. Home of the 2-1. Betts pulls it down the line, hooking, foul. Home run distance, but foul, and it's 2-2.
Betts, along with Rosarena, just have lightning quick hands. And ball inside, inner half, they can turn on it with the best of them.
He sure has been fun to watch for Team Mexico, hasn't he?
He's been the right guy in the right spot, and it just amazes me how in the biggest moments he has been he's been huge.
It's like you see his eyes light up, and then he comes through almost every time, whether it's with Tampa Bay or here in his first WBC. Betts with a base hit to right center. Waited on that 3-2 slider and punched it to the right side.
The more that the USA team sees of that pitch, the better they're going to be. This one rolled in the zone, but he didn't try to pull it. That's the key. If you wait on that pitch and you take it for where it's thrown, you're going to get great success, because most of the swings and misses are on really good tight breaking balls. Most of the homers are on hanging breaking balls on the inner part of the zone. But if you're trying to pull every single pitch, you'll swing over the top of that breaking ball, and that's where a lot of strikeouts come.
The Betts base hit was the first one for the U.S. outside of Mike Trout's triple. And Trout up here takes ball one. Triple came in the first inning. U.S. had runners at first and third and one out. And Colombia was able to get out of that with a double play against Arenado. The great Mike Trout. We were talking about Kyle Schwarber earlier, how 30 of the great players here all look at Schwarber and say he's the one who's different in the clubhouse. He's the one who's got a personality that elevates everybody. Well, they look at Mike Trout the same when it comes to playing the game. You watch all the best players in the world hit. He's different. He takes a strike, 1-1. 3 MVPs. Hard to believe that he's been in the league as long as he has now, more than a decade.
Yeah, that is. It's just fun to play the game of what kind of numbers he's going to end up with by the time his career is over.
He's still just 31. Betts has a good lead. Time is called. I'm not sure everybody saw Alan Porter given time there. If they didn't see it, it looked like the biggest block ever.
Never want to be in this position as a pitcher. The older he gets, he'll just start he'll chuck that. You just don't want to stop your motion. He was at least close enough to recognizing, but if you get down to the end, you got to throw it over the head of somebody just so you don't hurt yourself.
Wild pitch. Betts into scoring position. Figured the guy at the plate maybe had a little something to do with that. Him eating it, not letting it go.
Yeah.
This is the first game for Alfaro catching. Elias Diaz has done the catching. Alfaro's been in there as the DH, but didn't want Diaz to catch 4 games in a row this early in the baseball calendar, so it's Alfaro back there. Trout goes through the right side, and here comes Mookie Betts. Trout and Betts combining with 2 gone to start the scoring. It's 1-0 U.S.
That's just great hitting. 2 guys in a row took advantage of a ball other part of the plate. Didn't try to pull it. There was no second baseman there. May not be the case in the regular season when they can't do this, but it was the case right here. Look at this pitch, just spinning on the outside part of the plate. Not a bad pitch. If you try to pull that, that's an out. I don't care who you are. But he went with it knowing full well that right side's open. So basically, if you see a pitch away, you go there. If you see a pitch in and you're still trying to go to right field, you fight it off.
Back-to-back 2-out hits and a 1-0 lead for USA. Here's Paul Goldschmidt. Isn't it a beautiful thing, John, that a lot of the highlights you see from Mookie Betts and Mike Trout, MVPs, are them hitting long home runs. But here, when the game calls for it, opposite field base hits, waiting on those breaking pitches.
Yeah, and you don't know what an inning will be like. That's 2 outs, nobody on. And they got a single, wild pitch and single.
2-0 on Goldschmidt. Trout, who was 2 for 8 over the first 3 games, 2 for 2 tonight. USA advances to the quarterfinal with a win tonight. Venezuela waits after being unbeaten in pool play. It's already been 1 ticket punch into the semifinals over on the other side of the globe. Cuba, after losing its first 2 games, has won 3 straight, beat Australia in the quarterfinal. Japan will play Italy in the other quarterfinal on that side of the bracket tomorrow morning. 3-1 on Goldschmidt. To get your bacon and eggs and coffee, and you can watch some morning baseball tomorrow.
They got a hop, skip, and a jump over to Miami, don't they?
Yeah, teams complain about, the Sunday night baseball and cross-country flight. How about Japan to Miami? On 3-1, Goldschmidt takes a strike, full count. Got a few days to rest up, though, before the quarterfinal, before the semifinals. Sunday night, Sunday and Monday, the semifinals in Miami. Championship on Tuesday. Trout to get a head start. There he goes. Here it comes. Ball 4. 3rd consecutive 2-out base runner. And that'll be the last batter that Flores faces as Cabrera comes out. And here in the 3rd inning, he'll go to his 3rd pitcher of the night. TV subscription. Redeem March 28th through April 3rd at T-Mobile.com/MLB. 3rd inning, 3rd pitcher for Colombia. It's Yoel Romero, who spent some time in the major leagues with the Nationals and the Twins. 2nd outing of this WBC for him. Gave up a home run to Randy Arozarena on Saturday.
Well, the pitching staff for Colombia has really kind of kept them in this since their offense kind of slumped. They were in that game against Canada, but just couldn't muster anything up. And right now they're trying their best to keep it close here with 2 outs and 2 runners on.
It was 2 outs and nobody on. Betts and Trout back-to-back singles to start the scoring. Then Goldschmidt walked. And so it gives Arenado a 2-out chance. Would have been a nice WBC for him. Trout at 2nd, Goldschmidt at 1st. Romero deals, and Arenado hammers the ball down the line, hooking, foul. That had a different sound to it, but just wide of the pole.
This pitch is supposed to be away, but see how it comes right down central, and he's just out front. I mean, crushed it and hooked about a good 6 to 10 feet.
Gets buzzed by this one. 2 on, 2 out, and a 1-1 pitch. The manager of Team USA, Mark DeRosa, kind enough to join us. Mark, you've told your guys we can't have any base runners in this inning, right? Because you have a TV interview to do.
Exactly.
Worrying about, lining your defense up. That's ball one.
Hey, you're 100% right. You're 100% right.
As long as we're all on the same page on that. Hey, what we were saying, Mark, what a beautiful thing. You get Mookie Betts and Mike Trout as this ball's fly to right center field. We're really going to do this again. Trout will watch it fly over his head and hit off of the wall. Can't make this up. It's a leadoff double. D-Rose never going to talk to us again. This keeps happening while we're talking to him. Let's focus quickly on the positive, though. Betts and Trout, you see highlights of those guys. It's usually them turning on balls and hitting home runs. What a beautiful thing watching those guys shorten up and go the other way, huh?
I mean, two of the best in the business, two of the best in the world. To watch Mookie get us going with that little slider, that was a thing of beauty right there. And then Mikey not trying to do too much in his first 2 at-bats. Nolan just missed one. Would have made me feel a little bit better, but we're all right now.
All right, Mark, a bunch of people have asked you a ton of questions, but I guarantee you they've not asked you this one. Bobby Cox used to stand with his nails on, his spikes on, every single game. How are your legs? I mean, you haven't sat down yet.
Smolty, I can't do the nails anymore. I went molded the last 8 years of my career. So I'm all right. I'm all right. I got my man Andy Pettit next to me. Things are good.
We literally have the same situation we had the other night. Leadoff double, moves up to third, and now you got to tell your defense what to do. You need us to let you go do that?
No, we're fine. We'll play them back here. I trust the offense is coming together.
I mean, you're an old hat at this point. They just know what D-Row, the skipper, wants, and we can keep rolling with the interview. Andy Pettit, you guys have grown close through this experience, huh?
Oh, he's become my best friend in the last 2 weeks. I mean, it's been unbelievable. He is dialed in. I told him. He was pacing up and down the dugout. I said, Andy, you're not pitching in this one. Merrill's got the ball right now. He is locked in.
Well, hey, we really appreciate everything. We will, though, let you get to this. And let's finish this thing off and talk to you in Miami, okay?
Love that. Love that. Thanks, guys.
All right, Mark. It's Gio Urshela at the plate. The tying run at third here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. He takes a strike. And it's 0-2.
Well, when you're struggling to find your stroke, and we've documented it, I mean, this guy's a great big league player that in the middle of spring training, he's having a hard time with the timing of it. Well, Merrill Kelly has had a hard time with his off-speed pitches coming into this inning, not really hitting many of them, well below 50%.
And for him to be at his best, he's got to land those because he doesn't throw his fastball very much. Threw it about 45% of the time last year. It was better than it's ever been because he exposed it less. But it was also better than it's ever been because the off-speed stuff landed.
That's exactly right. I mean, you make your fastball look better and firmer when you're hitting with your off-speed pitches and keeping the hitters off balance. So it works hand in hand.
Urshela into center field. Trout is there to make the catch. Runner charges home from third. Trout's throw not in time, and this game is tied at 1. So Urshela, who's still searching for his first hit of the WBC, contributes an RBI. And as Great Britain manager Drew Spencer looks on, it's tied at 1.
Well, Colombia needed that. They need to string together some base runners and get them in when they get them on, because it'll get increasingly more difficult for Team Colombia when the later the innings go. We got some arms down there for Team USA that can prevent contact.
Alfaro grounded foul. So tied at 1, and if you again just happen to be tuning in, a win for the U.S. moves them on to the quarterfinals. They can move on with a loss. They don't want to have to get into that and start figuring out the grids and see, okay, by this score we move on, by that score we don't. Bottom line, though, they win, they move on, and if the loss is by 1 or 2, they move on then too. So Colombia's got to score some runs. They got to get a gap and pull off a couple upsets in that regard to advance. 1-1 pitch. Out in front, 1-2. Broken bat roller over the mound to Trey Turner, taking a late big hop on him there. Either way, it's a 2-out base runner for Colombia.
Well, as crazy as it sounds, plays like that matter in the equation. If that's ruled an error, it goes under the run production. If it's ruled a hit, or run prevention.
Yeah, because the second tiebreaker is simply runs over outs recorded. Third tiebreaker is earn runs over outs recorded. And the fourth tiebreaker is batting average. I hope we don't get to the fourth tiebreaker, because not even Krajewski, I don't think, has a calculator for that one. Our statistician, Rick Krajewski. With 2 gone, Reynaldo Rodriguez takes ball from Kelly. Team Mexico, though, already headed to Miami, winning this group, going 3-1 after losing the opener to Colombia. Robert Cabrera said we kind of lit a fire under them, it looked like.
They had a tight one today until they broke it open, I think, in the 6th. I think they scored 4 in the 6th.
It'll be a scary team in Miami.
Yeah.
Got good pitching, and that's a legit lineup of major league hitters, too.
Yeah, it's all about, really, I mean, I know there's many factors, but it really is about the pitching staff and what you can and can't do with them. And if they can, pitching staff gets hot, it can silence a lot of great offense.
1-1. Mexico, their first time advancing at a pool play since 2009. This is going to be the team to do it, they figured, coming in. Most talent they've had. They felt like the best chemistry they've had, which is such a tough thing to capture in this tournament, and that these teams don't get together until a few days before pool play begins. Yeah, guys have backgrounds playing together, and some teams spend more time together than others in winter ball tournaments, Caribbean series, things like that. But you're kind of figuring your team chemistry out on the fly. Here Kelly's 2-1, fouled off, and it's 2-2. Rodriguez struck out his first time. It's a lone strikeout for Kelly through 2+ innings. He's been fooled badly on a couple breaking pitches. Lays off this one. Count goes full. Rodriguez, 36 years of age. He's been a pro for 16 years. Last time, though, he was in affiliated ball 7 years ago. He's been in the Mexican League since, and cherishes these opportunities internationally to represent his country. From a Yankees farmhand, Red Sox farmhand, Twins farmhand. It's been a long time, though, since he was doing that. Alfaro will get a head start as the 3-2 comes home. Rodriguez hits it hard to deep center field. Trout's on the move, turns and watches this ball hit off the wall. Team Colombia takes the lead as their veteran most player, the 36-year-old Rodriguez, doubles off of the wall. Reynaldo Rodriguez with his 5th RBI in 4 games in this tournament. A visit coming from Andy Pettit. And a night where Kelly just really has not had it.
No, he hasn't been crisp, and that's something you need to be. I know it's, again, we reiterate, the middle of spring training, you're trying to get, you've waited for this moment, you waited to make these pitches, and he just hasn't had the crispness that we're used to seeing, and he's got to get one more out here now with a man on second. And the bullpen's going to get going for Team USA, but it is imperative they get this out right here and avoid falling 2 or 3 behind.
He's within 9 of his limit is Kelly. 56 pitches with a 65 pitch limit in this round. 2-1 Colombia. Abris Valoria to the plate. Yeah, a couple layers to this for Colombia. Even simply a 1-run win would be a big deal because it would guarantee their spot in the 2026 WBC. But they need to win by 3, score at least 4 to have a shot to move on. Backdoor breaking pitch for strike 1. Valoria, who is making only his 2nd start of the Classic, singled his first time. Going 2. And by the way, Alfaro's ball was ruled a base hit. Kept this inning going. Trey Turner with a play behind the bag couldn't make.
That's why I said it was kind of big.
Yeah.
If you know, if all that stuff comes into play.
So 3 hits in this inning, 4 total against Kelly. For a Colombia offense that has been really quiet the last 2 games after the win against Mexico on Saturday. Kelly's 1-2. Ball 2. Abris Valoria lifts it to right center. Trout on the move. Mike Trout runs it down and ends the inning. But